Stuart, we're set if you are.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm. Low, but I can hear. Go a little higher there. Thank you.
Okay, good. Let's get started. All right, I'd like to welcome six-time. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. It's all good.
Good. All right, I'd like to welcome six-time PGA Tour winner Jon Rahm to the virtual interview room here at the Tour Championship at Eastlake. Jon, you're entering the week number 4 in the FedEx Cup standings. Maybe just give us some opening comments on the status of your game. Obviously, a little weather today at Eastlake, so maybe what your plan is for today and tomorrow heading into Thursday's opening round.
No plans. Not right now, at least. Get through media first, get some food, and then we'll see what the weather does. Hoping we get a break today to get some work done. Just even if it's just hit some balls, hit some putts, and get the body moving. Just make a couple swings. Doesn't need to be anything very, very detailed or very long, right? If I can get out and see some holes, that'll be great. If not, I know the course hasn't changed the last year, so excited. That's all I can say. Playing good golf, playing good on the playoffs. So getting here in a good spot, a few shots back of the lead. With the mission clear in mind. So it's looking forward to it.
Great. At this time, we'll turn it over to questions from the media. As always, please type your name. In fact, if you have a question in the chat, we'll get to you in the order in which you type that in. Question, and then back off when you were finished. We are having a few audio problems here in the media center, so if everyone could line up in the chat, that would be best to help expedite things.
Well, we're just going to do a regular press conference. They're all here. I mean, come on. No idea. I don't know if somebody's trying to talk and they're muted or...
We've lost the feed here in the media center.
Well, you guys let me know.
Yeah. Stuart, you got us? I think they're having... I think Stuart lost his...
John, can you hear me?
There we go.
Yes, sir.
I'm just going to ask Daniel Rappaport's question, asking the chat, because I don't think I'm off site and I do have connection. So Daniel Rappaport question, Rory McIlroy made some interesting comments last week about course setups, how a lot of tour setups are the same, and how he likes that because you don't have to spend time preparing for new courses. He likes that. What is your feeling on that?
I haven't really given it much thought, I can say that. It is true that both Liberty National and Caves Valley were set up very similar, I believe. A lot of it due to the fact that, it's a time of year where it's not really dry in those areas. It can rain a lot, and both courses were similar type of grass and, just played the same, really. I mean, just try to hit the short grass. It's going to plug in the fairway, be aggressive because it's going to plug in the green, right? So, I don't know. I like variety, to be honest. I think when you're trying to find the best players in the world, you got to have variety in golf. That's why one of the reasons why I love going to Europe and playing different golf and different golf courses, just because I feel like as a player, it challenges you to adapt yourself to the golf course. And, it's just one more challenge that, we got to overcome as players. So I don't mind either way, but if I had to choose, I would like to go to different courses, extremely different courses every single time. That would be amazing. But when you're playing in similar parts of the country, it's going to be very difficult to accomplish that. So I guess the one benefit of this is when you're playing this many weeks in a row, it's easier and better for the mind and body when you don't have to adjust too much. And I guess I can see both points. In my case, I like the diversity.
Okay, John, I'll ask you the next questions. I've got a few here.
Perfect.
Have you thought about what you'd do with $15 million if you were to win it? That's Steve DeMeglio asking that.
Save it and invest it responsibly, unlike any other 27-year-old ever said. I've said it before. We get this question every time. I've been very fortunate that at my young age make more money than I ever thought I could make. I've never done this for the money, but obviously it's an amazing bonus. And even already, I can already afford a great life for my family and the future of my family. So if I haven't bought anything extravagant yet, like yeah, we live in a very nice house and we have some nice cars, but nothing out of the very ordinary. I can't really think of it. Nothing that will surprise anybody or raise any eyebrows. To be honest, nothing that's special.
And just to follow up from Steve, what's your opinion of the staggered scoring system this week? The staggered scoring system.
Oh, how it goes?
Yes.
Well, I like it much better than the last one in the sense of that you know where you're standing and you know what you have to do. I'm not gonna say too much because I know my words are gonna be possibly, let's say, modeled to the extreme and almost make it sound about something different than what I feel. But I'm not the biggest supporter of the full format itself. What I do like is the fact that you understand what's going on and what's going to happen and who's on the lead and what you have to do to win. But I don't agree with every part of the format this week.
Okay, the next question I have is from Rex Hoggett, and I'll just remind media if they do have a question just to type it into the chat. What's the worst thing a fan has ever said to you, and at what point do fans step over the line?
Oh, I've heard many things. Many things in Spanish that I don't want to translate. Somebody learned something bad. Bad things about my mom, bad things about my wife. Nobody said anything about my son yet, but I can imagine this coming in the Ryder Cup. I can't in good conscience say what some people have said. I don't know what goes through somebody's mind to say something like that, but I don't know. Some bad things. But I gotta say, that is 1% of all the public out there, right? Everybody else is great. They create a great atmosphere. This is gonna be the usual people that, whether they had a few too many drinks, or they're getting influenced by their friends, or they're just simply trying to be funny, they're gonna say some things that are just maybe not nicest to hear. But at the same time, as athletes, we're not the only ones who deal with it. I mean, every other athlete in every other sport has to deal with it. And team sports, every time you have an away game, you have a whole stadium full of people yelling things at you. So I'm sure other sports have heard way worse things than I have on the golf course so far.
Okay, I've got a few more questions lined up here. This one's from Alejandro.
Mm-hmm.
How was the last round at BMW with Sergio?
Does he want that in Spanish? Because I know who it is.
You talked about Sergio's situation, FedEx Cup, Ryder Cup. A lot of pressure on her talk.
He didn't say the language.
You can do both, just really briefly with both.
Well, I mean, I'm saying English first. I had a great time with Sergio. We're good friends, and they have two Spanish players together, and that final group was fun, especially knowing that he had to play good to make it. And I think you can tell on that last bunker shot, I think he thought he had to make that bunker shot on 18 to make it to this week. I wasn't sure. I had enough with my own stuff going on, but he definitely dropped some crazy dimes that day of good golf, and it was a great atmosphere. We had a lot of fun, and I'm hoping he plays good this week, and it'll be great for him to start playing really good golf like he has and headed to the Ryder Cup. I don't know if it's close making it point-wise or if he can qualify, but it's Sergio Garcia. Is the guy with the most amount of points in European team history. I would take a guess, bold claim here, and he might be a pick. He might, if he doesn't make it. That would be my guess.
Maybe we can do a couple of Spanish at the end.
Yeah,
Let's
that's good.
keep going in English. From Bob Herrick, having played in one Ryder Cup, what did you learn about playing in it that you didn't know prior to that?
Oh, it's tough to put it into words. I can say that atmosphere, that Ryder Cup has helped me better be ready for majors, because you always think about certain pressure in majors in certain moments, but that Ryder Cup is something unlike any other. And when each shot counts as much as it does, and when you're playing for a whole country and continent, in our case, it's a very different sense, right? And having so many people around you wanting you to win, and you wanting to do it for them, kind of helped me better prepared to really just focus on what I have to do, which at the end of the day, if I play my best golf and get my match done for myself is the best thing for everybody, right? So it kind of helped, let's say, narrow that focus a little bit in certain moments, and it's helped on my performance in major sense a little bit, just because, you know, I kind of learned from those mistakes I made in the Ryder Cup, but God, it's very different. The feeling on the first tee is not even close to similar to what I feel in a regular event or even a major. It's very unique, you know. Still, I don't think I remember hitting the ball in that first one because I pretty much blacked out.
Okay, I'm going to call on Shane Ryan to ask a question. I think you have access, so go ahead, Shane, if you do.
Yeah, I think this is okay. Can you hear me okay, John?
Yes, I can.
So I learned something recently reading a Spanish language article about you that I didn't know, which is that you're from the Basque country in Spain. I understand very little about that dynamic, just the basic stuff. So I wanted to put it to you. What role does where you come from play in your sense of self-identity? Hopefully it's not too complex a question, but what does being from Basque country sort of mean to you?
Oh, God. I feel like, God, I don't want to give a history lesson. Listen, the Basque country, it's, God, I don't know how to put the word. Let's say state in Spain, that it's a little different to the rest. You know, we have our own language, our own traditions, and even in certain tax laws are a little bit different, right? So even though Spain is very diverse, there is a difference between Basque and Spanish people. Now, historically, there has been some, let's say, friction between each other. At one point, the Basque people had a terrorist team that did not do such good things in consequence of a dictatorship that wanted to completely abolish anything that was Basque. I mean, it was a fascist movement. It happened all over the country. But it's tough because I'm not, for those who know about the history, I'm not anti-Spanish. Obviously, I'm Basque as much as I'm Spanish. I've represented Spain all over the world. And it's unfortunate the fact that I have to keep saying that every time something like this comes up. But Basque people are very hard-headed, shocking, very loyal, and very passionate. And that's kind of something that really describes me really, really well. And I'm proud to be where I'm from, you know. I feel like it's a sense of family that is very unique. And I'm proud to be a little bit different in that sense, growing up in the Basque culture and Basque language and a bit of everything, right? So it's a sense of pride more than anything, you know. It's I get to call myself Basque, which is a cool thing, and I love it, you know. But I feel like it's the same way as, you know, a person from Madrid gets to call himself a person from Madrid and is proud to be from Madrid, right? I feel like all of us get a sense of pride to be where we're from. It's just, you know, ours has a bit of a complicated history.
Thanks. I know I'm dipping my toes into some deep waters there, so I appreciate you.
No, you're good. It's not something, I've been asked more direct and worse, so don't worry.
Okay, John, we'll take one from Steve Hummer in the Media Centre. What are your thoughts on Patrick Cantley's game, and how difficult will he be to track down here this week?
I mean, last week is last week, and it's past. So I have a hard time believing he's going to shoot 27 under this week. Let's just say that, because it's not a golf course that usually gives up that many birdies. But I feel confident. You know, this is a ball striker's golf course, and my ball striking has been very, very good. And I'm only 4 shots back, so it's only 1 shot difference each day. And we all know that 4 shots can't be gone very, very quickly. So if I get off a fast start, not tomorrow, on Thursday, get off a good start, get a couple birdies on, and we won't be too far away. So I'm confident in what can be done. Obviously, Patrick has to worry about his own game, but I feel like I'm doing the right things, and I'm giving myself a really good chance.
Okay, Adam Shupak, if you're able to ask a question, go ahead.
Thanks, guys. John, how significant was your singles victory over Tiger at the Ryder Cup and propelling you to the success you've had since then?
I don't know. I think it's a little bit of to what I answered before. It was a lot of mental strain going on for me for that week because I was not playing my best golf, and I'm playing Tiger Woods on a Sunday, my first Sunday in the Ryder Cup, and even though we had a lead, you know, I was nervous because you don't know what can happen if, you know, the first few matches are lost, right? I mean, the dynamic changes, and you can happen with what happened in 99 in Brookline or what happened in Medina, right? That's a big change can happen very quickly. So it was a lot of mental strength to just really focus and almost forget that I was playing Tiger Woods, and just play my game and try to beat just the player in front of me, right? Not thinking about who he was and what he's done. Now, that has helped me in the sense of when I'm playing golf in big events, when it's easy to start thinking about different things, just focus on what you have to do, which is the most important thing, right? I believe Bobby Jones or Brett Hogan, or one of those great players all time, said the most important shot in golf is the next one. And that is the most important thing, is the next shot ahead, period. And it's helped me a couple times, you know, draw from those memories and those experiences to get better at that. It certainly helped at Torrey Pines this year.
Okay. One more, if you don't mind. You spoke this summer some about having a club foot as a youngster. When did you realize that was actually a good for your golf swing and not a hindrance?
Well, listen, it's not like it's good for my golf swing. I realized that there's some things my body can do and certain things my body can't do, right? So I have the golf swing I have because of the club foot, right? It's not like I ever tried to just, I was too young to know what was going on. I mean, it's props to my teacher to realize that, Eduardo Thayes back in the day, to realize that I was always going to be a better golfer with a 3/4 swing, right? He didn't know why, but he knew when I took it to parallel, I was out of balance and I couldn't hit it straight. And at 3/4, I could really hit it good. And then, I learned how to create power from then. Now, I played other sports that, habilitated my ability, facilitated me to create more of that power from that short distance, right? For those who don't know, I've watched Highlight, the one thing with the big hook. I played the same sport with a wooden paddle, which if you see video, it's called Pala, P-A-L-A. They literally take it to hip height, maybe a little bit more, and hit it from there, which is very similar motion to what I do and very similar motion to drill I used to do with Eduardo, right? So it's not like it's an advantage, but I learned to use those, not limitations, those guidelines that your body is giving you to know what I should do and what I shouldn't do, right? Many people try to get rid of the boat wrist, and I always resisted it because this never felt comfortable, and I can barely, move my hands that way, right? So there's certain things that I learned later on when I started going to TPI, and Dave Phillips and Greg Rose actually started talking to me about what was going on. But it's a whole sequence and change of things that the one little thing on my ankle and my foot is basically falls upon, right? So it's been a good thing. The more I've learned, the more I've been able to work out in an appropriate manner to work at certain muscle groups and certain parts of my body to be able to swing better and stronger and more efficiently, right? So, it's a whole thing that I think it all starts with the props to my teacher in Spain, Eduardo, that realized that I needed to have a 3/4 swing. But I wouldn't say it's an advantage. It's just I learned from something that could have been taken as a negative, and I think that's a lesson, right? Even though if it's something I was born with, doesn't necessarily think it's a bad thing.
And what age were you when you played this Pala?
Oh God, I did a lot of sports. This one amongst another ones. Up until I was 14, which I think is at 14 when I started dedicating solely to golf. I don't know how many years, but I played in school. I played in. I didn't compete much of it, but I did go to training. Golf took all my weekends away, so I didn't compete that much on that. But I did play another version in school up until later on with a tennis racket, and then it was a rubber ball, almost like a racquetball as well, on the same court. So it's if you see me in person, I can spell all the sports. They're very similar.
Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We just have one last question for John. You can answer this in Spanish from Alejandro. I think you've won the money list this season. You're the first Spaniard to do so. What does that feel like? What sort of achievement is
I
that
have?
currently?
Oh, I had no idea. Pues sin saberlo, voy a decir que orgulloso. No lo sé. Es un año complicado, no es un año raro en el sentido de que ha habido más grandes, ha habido más torneos, ha habido muchas cosas que han pasado, ¿no? Muchos jugadores que han jugado muy bien. No sé, pero si soy el primero de verdad, orgulloso. Lo que pasa es que hoy en día yo creo que nos preocupamos tanto de la FedEx, ¿no? Que esta semana de hoy, el bonus de esta semana cuenta tanto que no sé si no sé si muchos de verdad nos damos cuenta, así que contento, pero no sé si significa lo mismo que significaba hace años, así que a ver si puedo ganar esta semana y hablaremos del tema después.
Thank you, John. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Have a